What's up, YouTube? DJ Kryptonite here, talking boxing, combat sports and the like. I just want to get right to it. Um, um, it's been a lot of talk about Terence Crawford's interactions with the PBC and negotiating with this Errol Spence fight. But I think everybody knows boxing is aware that Terence Crawford was very critical of the PBC and Al Heyman while he was actually under the banner of Bob Arum. And he was under the banner of Bob Arum for probably about 10 years, fighting on ESPN, one of the biggest platforms in sports. However, Bob Arum didn't promote him, didn't push him, didn't provide the fights or the exposure that a talent like Terence Crawford deserves. So essentially, he sued him. For some racist issues and failing to promote, failing to adhere to the written contractual agreement of promoting this guy. And ultimately they parted ways. So now Terence Crawford is a free agent, and now he's negotiating with a company that he was very critical of in the PBC, Al Heyman. So now he's coming to negotiate a fight with Errol Spence, who's one of the bigger names within the PBC. And Al Heyman is probably going to play hardball. I would assume he's playing hardball because he's going to want the best for his fighter within his organization. And Terence Crawford is acting as if he has a lot of leverage coming to Al Heyman and making demands that ordinarily Al Heyman probably wouldn't actually honor. But given that it's Terence Crawford, maybe he was considering some of the requirements. But I think what has come out from Arum and other people around Terence Crawford is he's a poor businessman and he's very hard to deal with. So with that being said, I'm not surprised that the fight hadn't been made yet. For one, you're coming to a company to do business that you were very, very critical of. And business is business. Everybody knows that. If it's in the best interest of the PBC, they're going to make the fight. But if you're not willing to negotiate honestly, fairly, in good faith, the PBC is going to tell you to walk away, kick rocks, because they have enough people within the stable where they don't really need Terence Crawford. It's a great fight to make. Errol Spence, Terence Crawford, on paper, it's a great fight. But Terence Crawford, he's not a promotable guy. You can't promote this guy. He doesn't help the promotion. He doesn't do anything to help the promotion. He's just an anti-personality almost. And you're acting as if you're coming with credentials. You haven't done much. And I'll challenge anybody to the resume of Terence Crawford. Yes, he's a successful boxer, but for him to be put on this grand stage as if he's knocked out or beaten Hall of Famers, like numerous Hall of Famers, I don't know about that. His resume is not that great. And we can start going down the road with other fighters like that because they do the same thing with Lomachenko. His resume is not that great. His amateur resume is great, Lomachenko. But professionally, who has he beaten? Has he beaten a lot of Hall of Famers? Probably not. My thing is, anyway, I'm deviating from the issue here. My issue with the whole Terence Crawford, Errol Spence thing, for one, Terence Crawford is probably making unreasonable demands with PBC, and he doesn't have a great relationship with PBC and Al Heyman. So that's clear. The other thing is he goes and then he decides to fight this off-brand no-name guy on a second tier, I'll say second tier at the most, third tier streaming platform, Black BLK Prime, owned by Bob Johnson. It ain't many people that subscribe to BLK Prime. It's not a mainstream application. Now, it may be for some, but do you really think it's going to get the movement, or they're going to push this fight and give it the necessary promotion in order for it to be a very successful night? I don't know. I would be surprised if he get 100,000 pay-per-view sales. I'll be surprised. It's at $40 a pop. I'll be surprised. So he resorts to going to a third tier streaming application, BLK Prime, as opposed to negotiating fully with Al Heyman and doing it the PBC way, because ultimately you're not coming with anything. The promotion and all of that stuff is going to come from PBC. So you have to do it the PBC way. You no longer have leverage as an independent contractor, so to speak, or a free agent. You have to do it the PBC way. And that's where you're coming. You're coming to the PBC. So for you to sit there and make demands as if you're Canelo Alvarez or something, not going to happen, sir. Like I said, I wasn't surprised that it fell through. Ultimately, you're going to have to make that deal, because you're going to have to, you're going to want to make that money. Rumor has it, or ESPN reports, that you're making upwards of $10 million for this. That's going to be a one-off, because you know what? BLK Prime will lose out on this unless they do no promotion. If they do no promotion, which Bob Arum and ESPN has done in the past for you, then they lose nothing. All they get, I don't know, where's the 10 million coming from if you don't do well in pay-per-view sales? Where is it coming from? I just want to see where this promotion and where's this influx of money is derived from, where you can make upwards of $10 million on an obscure platform, fighting an obscure boxer in Nebraska. Now, mind you, that is your hometown, so you may get some ticket sales. But $10 million, that's a report. I can't substantiate that report. I don't understand. So again, I say all of this to say, Terence Crawford, I'm going to keep saying it. You're not a good businessman. You're not. Because you're not looking at the big picture. You're losing a cash cow opportunity in the PBC because you're stubborn and you're not business savvy. You're definitely not business savvy. Is it by coincidence, or is it by accident that you don't see anybody leaving the PBC? By accident? Is that by accident? Nobody really leaves the PBC. Terence Crawford, you need to do better, man. In fact, boxing needs to do better, because it's ridiculous. All of this fragmented and fractured promotion companies, networks, streaming platforms, all of this is fracturing boxing, and it's terrible for the spectator. It's terrible for the viewer. Terrible for the fans. So boxing needs to do better. They probably need to take a page from Dana White in MMA, where people fight who they have to fight or need to fight to move forward. And if you don't take the fights, or the fights that are required of you, you don't get a fight. You don't get a fight. You know? So, anyway, coming from a fan and a connoisseur. But anyway, I hope everybody enjoyed their Saturday. Enjoy your weekend. It should be, well, in this area, I'm on the East Coast, but yeah, it's supposed to be a rainy weekend, at least tomorrow, Sunday, I believe. But anyway, enjoy your weekend. DJ Kryptonite will be back at you soon. Deuces.